Hi, good afternoon, friends. I'm really excited today. I'm here with the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians here in Suttons Bay. I'm on the reservation here and I am with their tribal chairman. His name is Thurlow Sam McClellan. And Sam, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got into the role that you are in today?
Yes, hi, I'm Thurlow Samuel McClellan, and I'm the tribal chairman, and I was voted in back in May. And I've been sitting here since then. I'm a newly elected one, and I have quite a responsibility over the tribe, and actually we call it a nation because we are a nation. And so there's a lot of responsibilities that I have to oversee and have oversight on, and the Pipeline 5 is one of them. And it's very important to not only me, but our tribe and our nation.
Absolutely. And can you explain for people that don't understand just a little bit about how your nation's government here works and what your role as a tribal chairman actually means when it comes to the voting and things like that?
Yes, we have an election process, and we have a council of seven, six council people and one chairman. And it's no different than the political elections that we have in the state and in Washington. It's the one with the highest vote is seated into whatever positions that they have according to the votes. So it's the same kind of government setup. We operate that way, only we're just a smaller government, but we are a government.
Perfect. And as a sovereign nation, when you vote on things, what happens in the case of the 3-3 tie? Who votes last?
In case of our situation where we have a 3-3 tie, then according to our Constitution, the chairman at that time will vote to break the tie. Whatever way it goes.
Awesome, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I know with your particular nation, you've written a resolution that states not only to stop Line 5, but also to take it out completely. That's a very, very strong stance for a nation to take. Can you explain a little bit about why you've done that and some of the perils and dangers you see to your nation from Line 5?
Well, first of all, the Line 5, which goes through starting in over the Mackinac Bridge in the Straits there. Actually, there's only a very few percent of the oil that comes from Canada ever comes to us in Michigan or reaches us. And so, and then it comes for the good part of Michigan. And so this is 60 some years old, this pipeline. We already had damage down in Kalamazoo, which is still our federal reservation boundaries, even though we stretch, but we were here first in Michigan to begin with. And so the heart of all of our people, when it comes to water, air, this is very vital, not only to us, but also to the people around us. There are so many things that could be damaged, and it would cost us a lot of money to fix or to clean up and damage to us. But the water is something that Native Americans, because we used to just use around here years ago, it was wells, springs. And now we have, of course, wells that go down with 2-4-inch wells now. But that was our way, that was our life. And so it's very important to a lot of our people, especially our elders, because they know what it was to have spring water. And the earth that we have, because a lot of our people, actually in powwows that we have, we call Mother Earth and the drums that beat. And actually, the Bible tells us that God took dust of the ground and made man and female. And so, the Mother Earth was always a part of us. And it is a part of us. And it's always been a spiritual part that we have been very concerned. And our native people have been natural resource people since we first came. So, these are very important things. And so Pipeline 5, this could, we don't know how long, that there could be a break or maybe no break, but the possibility and the risk is very high. And so we're very, very concerned about this and hope that we can stop it and remove it. And, if Canada wants it and they want to keep it on the Canada side, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I absolutely understand. And you touched on something there. You were talking about the Kalamazoo River and Marshall, Michigan. And
yes.
You mentioned originally that was part of the land where your people were. So what happened to that land? How come it's no longer your land? Do just a little background on that.
Well, really, and I don't know as far as the times, but anyway, Michigan that's where the 1836 treaty that we have and the 1850 treaty. But the 1836 treaty is where we seceded the lands to Michigan, and that's where Michigan became a state. It was on because of our working with them, government to government, and we allowed this to happen. I'm not sure if we were really advised in the right way, but it was something that was going to happen. And so Michigan is very dear to the Native Americans, not only the earth and the water and the air, but Michigan itself. And we're very concerned about our land that we have.
And you mentioned there that you conceded that to the state so that together that Michigan was formed, and you still had your piece, they had their piece. So you both have, you said at the time that was government to government negotiations. So with this pipeline, as a sovereign nation, have you had any government to government negotiations about asking your opinion about whether you want that pipeline there?
Well, as I mentioned, government to government treaty, these are sometimes they get lost in the translations because a lot of our treaties were broken. A lot of the government to government was never really done. It was just on a piece of paper. And even today, and even on this, and even with Standing Rock, the consulting with tribal people, and especially with the treaties, because this was supposedly guaranteed to us, and yet we've been brushed aside. As they say, money talks, and that's what's happening. And the concerns and the of the people, and I mean, this is really, really important to us, because if there's leaks in that, we don't know, where it will go. And just because it disappears doesn't mean, that we're safe. Who knows what aquifer would come into place. That's where all underneath here that we don't know, that's where lots of times our drilling goes into them and we get the good clean water. And this would be in danger if there was any leakage or any type of catastrophe, damage to the pipeline.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in fact, while I've been here this week, I've heard some facts and figures, and one of the figures is that this lake, the Great Lakes, supports a $37 billion economy.
Yes.
And on top of that, there's also the commercial and the not residential, but the fishing, the recreational fishing, and that's another $7 billion.
Oh yes, yes. In fact, where we live in Peshabi Town in the Traverse City area, this is probably the second highest area for recreation. People who come on vacations that come up here because of our water, our boating, our fishing, the pristine land that we have around us. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful place, and we want to keep it that way. So a lot of these people like the pipeline that, that would endanger a lot of what we have, and it would cost us a lot of money, and it would really, so I'm glad that we have other groups that are helping out and joining in, and we hope that we can make an impression to the state, with the meetings that are going on now. And so any information and things that we have that we're getting out to the people, we just hope that the pressure is out there that will build enough that they will take, because this is ridiculous how politics works, but pressure on the legislators, in our government and in Washington is the only way sometimes that we can get something through that is this important that we have today.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned that, there's people on, I get to see comments on here as it's going, and people are asking, what are they able to do to help assist in this? What do you want people out there to do to step up and make a difference with you?
Well, as far as I know right now, what's happening with the different groups that are out there that we're working, we're coordinating meetings together. We come together, the flyers and information on the internet, things like that. We're doing everything possible to get the information out to the people. And these other groups are helping. We're working together to do this. And so hopefully, this is a process. It ain't going to be done tomorrow or anything like that, but it definitely is a process that we're working on, and we're hoping that what we can do is going to be a part of the solution to the problems that that could happen to us.
Absolutely, because when those problems do come, when it does break, if it stays there long enough to break, the first people who are going to be looked at to provide a solution to the cleanup and help with that,
yes,
would be yourselves.
Well, even Kalamazoo, as we mentioned before, they're not totally cleaned up. They still have a lot of, and it's the thing about these big corporations or oil companies. These big companies, they're making buku bucks on everybody around. And when it comes to cleanup, they don't mind paying, if it's a $30,000 fine, okay, they'll go ahead on that. But what we see is that this is more important because this is us, and we need all the help that we can. If there's other people out there, we certainly will, enjoy having you help us out on this journey that we're on, because like I say, it's not going to be over in just a few weeks or anything.
Absolutely, Sam, and I think just the simple thing people can do is have the conversation around the dinner table when they see this, share this to groups and share it to friends, and make sure this is in the conversation, because it surprised me even going around here how many people don't even understand the issue that's right on the doorstep, because it's not publicized a huge amount, and it has to take that people power and that power of the voice and conversation to make a difference, I think.
Yeah, and that's what we're finding out, is that a lot of us now, and especially with our tribe, we're very concerned about this, but it is surprising that we have people that are living all around us, and boaters and fishermen that do not know, even though even with the ads that have been all over and on the news and nightly news, there's still people that don't even know about what we're facing until something like this would happen, and then everybody would come off the chairs and come out and saying, what's going on? Why didn't you guys do anything about this? Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the message out, and we hope that everybody will help us out there who believes the same way as we do.
Absolutely, and what I've learned myself this week, which I didn't realize before coming here as much, this isn't just a Michigan problem or an American problem. This is a world problem, because that is 20% of the world's fresh surface water.
Yeah, I think we're the third when it comes to a body of water for fresh water. And so it's very important to us. We see this, and of course this is the way we've been working anyway with our Natural Resource Department, our Environmental Department. We've been on this for some time, so it isn't like it's all happening right now. We've been on this, and hopefully that, as we said, that we can make a difference.
Well, absolutely, and I think just by taking the time to sit down today and discuss this, we are making a difference, because there's people out there now who didn't know and hadn't heard the stance from the tribal chairman who now understand.
Yes, and I appreciate you coming over and helping out, because it helps us to get the message out even more. Whoever hears this, sees this, will, hopefully that they'll step up to the plate too and help us out, because this is very, very important, and the message needs to get out.
Absolutely. Miigwech.
Miigwech.